This is a read aloud of RIPPER, Chapter 1, The Diary, August 31st, 1888. When I cut the woman's throat, her eyes betrayed not pain, not fear, but utter confusion. Truly, no creature can understand its own obliteration. Our expectation of death is real, but highly theoretical, until the moment is upon us. And so it was with her. She knew me, but she didn't know me. I was of a type, and having survived on the streets for years, she cultivated the gift of reading for threat or profit, deciding in a second, acting accordingly. I knew in an instant I'd passed beyond the adjudication and represented her narrow rat brain of what once was a mind. The prophet not the threat. She watched me approach along a dark street that had subtended from a larger thoroughfare, I don't know, with a kind of expectant resignation. She had no reason to fear, but not because violence was rare here in Whitechapel. It was not, but because it was almost always inflated with robbery as strong-armed gang members from Barsbians or Hoxton High Rips struck a woman down, yanked her purse, and dashed away. Crime for the working population of streets meant a snatch purse or with Kosh, and he would be some kind of brute, a sailor most likely, or a large Jew, German, or Irish paddy with a face like squashed potato. I had none of these defining characteristics, but appeared to be some member of a higher order, to suggest service in a household or some low retail position. I even had a smile, or so composed was I, and she returned that smile in dimness of a crescent moon and a far-off gas light. I know exactly what she expected. It was a transaction as ancient as the stones of Jerusalem, conducted not merely in quid, but drachmas, kopecks, pesos, yen, francs, marks, gold pieces, silver pieces, even chunks of salt, pieces of meat, arrowheads. Want a tup, governor? She'd say. I do indeed, madam. It's a threepence for what's below, a full penny for the mouth, darling. My, ain't you a handsome bloke? Jenny in Angel Alley offers her lips for threepence flat. I would, Dicker. All right, We'll rut front to back in a throughpence in advance. Suppose you run. Ask 'em all, sweetie. Don't run. Ask 'em all, sweetie. Don't run. She does what she's signed for, fair and square. So it be. And with that, a coin would be granted. A mitch against the wall founded, the position assumed, the skirts lifted, and I was expected to position myself such ways and angled to achieve fast entry. The system was not designed to accommodate finest of foreplay, not the act itself would resolve into some sliding, some bucking, some in, out, in the wet suction of the woman's notch. And I'd have a small but rejuvenating event. I'd feel momentarily bliss and step back. Thank you kindly, sir. Thank you kindly, sir, she'd say. And now, sweetie's off. That would be that, except not this night. If she had words to speak, she never spoke them. And that half-smile in memory of a woman's comeliness died in her lips. With my left hand a blur, I clamped hard on her throat, seeing her pupils dilate like exploding suns to steady her for the next, which was contained in strength and power of my stronger right hand. At full whip, I hit her hard with the belly of the blade. The speed was not any press or guidance on my own part, driving the keen edge perfectly and carrying it deep into her, sundering that which lay beneath, then curling around, following the flow of her neck. I hit my target, which Dr. Gray has labeled the inner catoroid, shallowly approximated in the outer muscle of the neck. Not even an inch deep, it was good. Sheffield steel, full flat ground to the butcher's preference, my thumb hooked under and hard against the bolster for stability. There was no noise. She meant to step back and had more or less begun to sway in that direction when I hit her again. The same stroke driven by full muscle, with all the strength in my limb against it. I opened a second wound, near perfect upon the first. Blood does not appear immediately. It seems as if it takes the body a few seconds to realize it has been slain, and that it has obligations to the laws of death. She stepped back. I gripped her shoulder as if we were to waltz. I eased her down as if she'd just fainted or grown a bit tizzy from too much punch before the spin upon the floor. amongst the lads and lassies. Meanwhile, the 2 streaks that marked my work reddened by degrees, but not much, until they each looked like a kind of unartful application of a cosmic nature, some blur of powder, or rouge, or lipstick. Then a drip, then a drop, then a rivulet, each snaking slowly from the lip of the cut, leaving a track as it rushed down the tired old neck. Sweetie, or whatever, I didn't know. I was attempting to say, I didn't know. Sweetie, or whatever, I didn't know what, attempting to say something, but her larynx, though undamaged by the anatomical placement of my strikes, would not cooperate. Only low murmuring sounds came out, and her eyes, all billiard ball on infinity, though I do not believe she was yet medically dead, as she had not lost enough blood from her brain yet. That issue resolved itself in the next second. The severed artery realized its interruption required, and at that point, at last, begin to spurt massively, torrent to gush to tidal wave. The blood erupted from the full length of each cut and obeyed gravity in its search for earth, in which to lose itself. I laid her down, careful not to let the surge flow upon my hands, even though, like all gentlemen, I wore gloves. In the moonlight there was a quarter moon above. Not much, but perhaps just a bit. The liquid was dead black. It had no red at all to it, and was quite warm, and had a kind of brass penny stench, metallic, as it rose to meet my nostrils. She lay supine, her eyes finally rotated up in their sockets. If there was a moment of passing, or an actual rattle, as the silly books claim, I missed it clean. She slid easily enough into a stillness so extreme it could not but be death. I hope you liked that first chapter of RIPPER. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.